Morning. As you can hear from behind me, we're down by the docks in Southampton at Barron's Classic Car Auctions, and numerous units still here are doing things. I can smell fiberglass. We must be somewhere to do with the boat building industry. But we're here to look at some cars, and this is the May 2023 Barron's Classic Car Auctions sale preview. Some of the cars you would have seen before. I mean, this Chevy Suburban, for example, was 1996. We've seen this many times before. It's a car that was actually originally from Canada. It's got a beige leather interior views, which we like very much. Why it's still here after, I don't know, like 3 or 4 different videos that I've made here, I don't really know. It's even got the little information sheet here from the last time it was an auction. It's not necessarily lot 105, it's actually had its guide price reduced for the May auction to between £6,000 and £7,000. Registered over here in 1999. It's had one owner from new. I will just try the door, as I always do, to see if it's actually open. It's got a bit of dust on it because it's been here a while. No, it's not open today. That's a bit of a shame. Massive luxury. Bit of a contrast here is this 2004 BMW 318ci convertible. This is the E46 generation. The estimate on this is between £2,500 and £3,500. Colour is called Mystic Blue. But viewers, I'm far more interested in this interior. Beige leather interior. I wish it had some wood views, but I don't think it has. So it's done 82,000 miles. It's recently had a service and an MOT. No advisories. Automatic climate control, electric seats, all sorts of things. That looks pretty good, actually. The sort of thing that, you know, it's ready for the summer, so almost take to shows and things. If shows will let you in a 2004 car. Just a reminder, as I always say, viewers, there are some cars listed in this online catalogue that aren't actually here, and there are some that are here that aren't in the online catalogue, like this 66 Mustang is not in the catalogue. However, this Jaguar very much is. Now, this is something very unusual. It's a Jaguar specialist sale this time, so we're going to be looking at a lot of classic Jaguars. It's a Jaguar 420 from 1967, which was the kind of like facelifted S-Type with a 4.2 engine, but it didn't actually replace the S-Type. It's very confusing. What Jaguar were doing between about 1966 and 1969 with a range of cars is a bit of a mess, and we'll maybe look at some others from that range a little bit later. This car was converted into a racer, I think in the 1980s from the information that I've got here. It was regularly raced. Now it's looking a little bit sort of rough around the edges at the moment, but it has a full roll cage in it. And it's a manual with an overdrive gearbox, so I suppose it's suitable for kind of putting back on the historic racing scene. Let's see if this is open. Yes, it is. Well, look at that. And we've still got these kind of really thick carpets and things, and the luxurious leather and the wood and everything like that. We've got some Corbeau racing seats in there. I don't think that's the original steering wheel either. Starter's still in the middle there. Of course, oil pressure gauge at the top. Depends what you want, really. I mean, the estimate on this is between £7,500 and £10,000. I don't know how much this is worth, viewers. Who knows? I suppose they'll see come auction day. Something a bit different here is this 1978 Reliant GTE 6A. Now, this is offered with no reserve whatsoever. The paintwork is, how do you put this, 1-star condition, says the online catalogue. And yeah, it's not great. I mean, this is fiberglass, so we're not going to see any rust on this or anything like that. Maybe if you want your fiberglass treated, you can come to one of these specialist companies within this estate who are obviously familiar with working on fiberglass. But we've got the door handles that look like they're off of Morris Marine. Let's see if this one's open actually. It's an auto. No, it's locked. That's a shame. It's very, very kind of late 70s and this kind of two-tone paint scheme. But yeah, no reserve. So that will definitely go when the auction happens just a little bit later this month. Something else that's, I wouldn't say I'm very familiar with these, but you know, always guaranteed to interest somebody, is this Volkswagen. It looks a lot older in some ways than it is. The paint scheme makes it look older, but it's actually in 1975. I would imagine that 73, 74 registration means that it was registered late or something. I'm not exactly sure. There's not a lot of history with this car. It looks really good. The restoration was done about 10 years ago or so. It's looking really good. See if this is open. Oh, there we go, viewers. And we've got beige leather interior elements. That gear lever looks very familiar. Let's just see what it says in here, if it's actually had a new gearbox fitted. It must have done. Don't know what that would be out of. That gear shift pattern on the dash doesn't actually correspond to anything anymore. We've actually also had a different radio put in, but they've left the original gear shift pattern indicator and radio in. Right, make sure this closes. I'll have to do that in a second, because I've only got one hand here. Yeah, doors not sagging. It's very common for Beetles for the doors to sag. This one's not sagging. That's very nice. What's the estimate on this? £7,000 to £10,000. So that's 420 there, or this Beetle. I'll let you decide. Next up is something that's very affordable indeed. Estimate between £1,000 and £2,000. 1996 Mercedes-Benz W124, or in this case an S124 because it's the estate version, E280 automatic. Now I can see why they've estimated this relatively low. I mean, we've got the classic problem on the W124s with that rust there. Strangely enough, we haven't got an issue which affects some of these here, where actually these sort of pillars actually kind of rust due to galvanic corrosion, but we haven't got that. We have got a bit here though. It's pretty nice actually, viewers. I don't know if there's a lot of history of this. Let's have a look at the listing and take a look. Yeah, the car's been maintained since 2004 by an independent mechanic. New head gasket 2010, rear silencer 2021, starter motor 2022. Front offside wing and both rear wings will need replacement. Yeah, that's par for the course really. I have done a review of a W124. It was the C124 version though. Now 1996 was the last year they actually made this shape. In a state form anyway. The saloons were replaced in 1995 by W210s. I don't think that's open, but it does have a beige leather interior with wood. And as you know, viewers, I do like a nice beige leather interior. Got some bikes and things to sell here, viewers, but I don't really know much about them, so we're going to have to skip those. And we'll go straight onto this 1948 Alice Chambers Model B tractor. I don't know anything about these, to be honest, viewers. Apparently it runs and drives, it's road registered, and it's estimated to be £2,000 or £3,000. It doesn't seem like a lot of money for something like this, but you know, I'm not really an expert on classic tractors. So the other surprise is still here. This is, I think, the third time of entry. This is 1960 Ford Thunderbird. I don't really know why this hasn't sold. The other later cousin is over there. We'll have a look at that in a moment. But yes, if you want as much money, as much car for your money as possible, this is going to be the best example. Let's put that down there. I think we're open. Yes, look at this. Could do with a steering wheel boss, but apart from that, it looks pretty complete. Very heavy door. Wow. Just reminds me so much of watching these kind of films from the 60s where you see these cars like this, especially the spy films, big impressive American cars driven to their limits. The estimate on this actually is different from the information sheet here, which is for the last auction, now estimated between £7,000 and £9,000. And viewers, what is our old friend doing here? I think this Escort XR3i has been entered into the sale more times than I've had hot dinners. Well, why haven't any of you come and bought this? It's an 86, estimate between £6,000 and £7,000. We've even got Benatar Crimes of Passion cassette in there. Yeah, RS wheels. It's had a full restoration. Given the price of classic Fords these days, I'm really surprised nobody's bought this yet, but here it is. Yeah, £6,000 to £7,000. So as promised you, here is the 64 Thunderbird. This is estimated a bit more than the 1960 car, estimated between 15 and 17. That information sheet is wrong, the estimate's been dropped a little bit. Again, I get vibes from this, from Adolfo Celli from Thunderball. I can't remember if the one that he drove in that film was a 64 or 65, but also it reminds me of the one that was actually used by C. Cylinder as Felix Leiter in Goldfinger. See if this one's open. I think it is. Again, massive heavy doors. Yeah, this one's in even better condition inside. Look at this. The product of a Ford Motor Company. Electric everything. Air conditioning. We've even got electric windows and things like that in here. What was it, a winder thing? I think that winder thing's literally just to the just to that little panel there. Yeah, if you like as much car for your money, and something like this is going to be hard to beat. Although we've tried something British, which is also massive behind it. 1955 Bentley S1 Saloon. We've seen this one before. I really can't believe how little these are valued at these days. I really don't believe it. Obviously somebody might have used this in the past for running car business. Just make sure that door's closed so I can get past. Oh, that's actually open. Right, let me just juggle some things here so I can make sure that door doesn't keep swinging open on me, and open this one. So the information sheet says here, the car starts and runs, could do some fresh fuel. Paintwork isn't particularly good. Yeah, it's not the best, is it? Structure is quite sound. Gears and the brakes were working, so automatic gearbox. I think this is like an old sort of General Motors gearbox, this one, from memory. I could be wrong. Oh, that smells wonderful. It's like a Rover P4, but only kind of sort of nicer smelling than one of those. Obviously, this is a much more expensive car and made about the same time as the P4s. If I only had a beige leather interior, it'd be perfect, but I'm afraid it doesn't. It's got lots and lots and lots and lots of boot space though. So this is a 1934 Rolls-Royce 2025 Sports Saloon by William Arnold, complete with beige leather interior and wood. The gear change and handbrake are actually on the right hand side of this one. Make sure we don't open this again onto the other car. Yeah, it's not really my kind of thing, this year. I'm not really into the pre-war stuff. Some of you will be, and pre-war cars do actually represent quite good value for money these days, because the average age of the enthusiast for something like this old Rolls-Royce is quite high. So as you know, these ladies and gents who own these cars are passing them on and things like that to family or selling them off. There seems to be quite a lot of them on the market, and that's meant the prices are quite low. So this car's only estimated at between 20 and £25,000, which I think is excellent value for something like this. Also very nice is this 1973 Jaguar E-Type Series 3 Roadster. It's the V12 model. Colour's a classic one, isn't it, for a Jaguar sports car or any British sports car. This one's an auto. A lot of automatics are very popular now because people, you know, are demanding that in even the classic cars. And this one does between £48,000 and £58,000. As it does with a V12 engine. Let's get around here and not fall over views. Lots and lots and lots and lots of switches. It's a bit different instrument panel from the one on the Series 1 E-Type that I drove back in 2020. It was a 2+2 from 66. But yes, even the Series 3s are actually becoming quite expensive now. So something that we've seen last month would be this 1971 Volkswagen Carmen Gear, left-hand drive. I think these are Porsche 911 wheels, so sort of early 911 wheels. It's a very common thing to put on Beetles and Carmen Gears and Splitties and things like that, isn't it? Yeah. Information sheet's very helpful here. Grid assurance valuation of £40,000. Got a tracker. One for the discerning collector, yeah. You can see why a discerning collector wants something like this. Have a look at the engine whilst we're here. That looks very new, doesn't it? All very new and shiny. Excellent. Last of the American Fords for today. I think last of the American car. Actually, no, we're not. There's another one over there. Apologise, viewers. But a nice, unique one. We can put that down on the step there. It's handy for putting things down. 2002 Ford F-150 Boss. And look at this yellow and black interior. To me it looks very sort of 90s, but I suppose it's not too far off that era. I bet this thing will sound great and be really fast. So yeah, F-150 Boss 5.4 limited edition. Estimate on this is between £16,000 and £20,000. Again, I don't know why this is still here. It's not really in my taste, this kind of thing, viewers, but if you really want your kind of slice of Americana and you want it quite modern, that would be for you. I think something more to my taste is this Bentley Arnage. It's the Mulliner edition, and it's estimated between £24,000 and £30,000. I mean, I prefer one of these in dark green or dark blue with a beige leather interior, but this will do, won't it? That is very nice. It has still got wood and leather. It's not in the colour that I would have expected. Just be careful opening this door. Oh, that is nice for you. It's all fully equipped. I like the sort of bespoke buttons and interior trim that these have. Obviously the Silver Seraph that was the Rolls-Royce twin of these was discontinued, I think, before 2005, and this will still have the good old 6.75 litre V8 engine in it. It is pretty immaculate. I didn't know what sort of prices of these were. It's interesting to see that this is actually what it's worth. Yeah, 13 stamps, 62,000 miles. Wonderful. Also wonderful is this 1963 Jaguar Mark II 3.4 with 5-speed gearbox and power steering. Estimate of this is between £17,000 and £21,000. So this is actually what's similar to the 420 outside and the S-Type. It's just got a different sort of front and rear end. The middle section similar. And this has a smaller engine than that 420 out there too. But ooh, that's nice. It's not a beige leather interior, but it's like a sort of green leather interior. It has got wood. And yeah, the 5-speed gearbox and power steering would make it much more appealing to somebody like me. Because yeah, the original Moss gearboxes on these, without synchro mesh on first, are a little bit tricky to operate. That is it's very nice. So yes, 1992 2002 Saab 900 Classic 16 valve turbo cabriolet, estimated between £4,500 and £6,500. That's the previous sale, so estimate's been lowered a little bit. Yeah, it looks good. I could do with getting rid of those coppers, I couldn't with yours. That was different from the 1983 Saab 900 GL Saloon that I drove earlier this year, as you can possibly get with this classic 900 shape. Yeah, I mean, it's again not the colour scheme I'd maybe prefer with one of these, but it's got everything you need, doesn't it? 2002 GTE F135 here. A little bit of cosmetic work to do on this. There are a few scratches on it, but it's got quite a unique interior colour actually. These tend to have just an all black interior. This one's actually got sort of beige and grey interior. 109,000 miles. Let's see if it's had a new head gasket. Oh, it has. It's had a new head gasket. It's had a new timing belt and a water pump. It's had a new stainless steel exhaust. And yeah, that actually looks really good. I'd say that the estimate between £1,500 and £2,500 is very fair for one of these. Another Rolls-Royce here. This is a 1971 Rolls-Royce Corniche. It's left-hand drive actually, this. It does require some recommissioning. Paintwork sort of rated as 3 stars. It's not too bad actually. Before they were called the Corniche, they were called something else, and I can't remember what it was. Being imported from Florida, this car, in around I don't know, 2010 or something. Estimated just between £20,000 and £30,000. Just to see what this sort of fetches, much more than Silver Shadow would, I think. Viewers, I think we've found my favourite car on sale, and I cannot believe this is estimated at between £5,000 and £7,000. But with Jaguar values being all over the place at the moment, perhaps it only is worth that much. It's an 83 XJS V12. The paint is blistering a bit. You can kind of see it in the video, but most importantly of all, it has a beige leather interior with wood. That's very nice. So I think this will be an HE V12 if it's an 83. I'd prefer a 6-cylinder, to be honest. I know how difficult it is to change the spark plugs of these V12s and things like that. So yeah, maybe you're a braver person than I am, but I quite like that. 1969 Morris Spinney Cooper Mark II. So it's a late 69 actually. On a G, estimate between £13,000 and £15,000. Apparently this is a very solid car, as it was according to the description. Got these Dunlop alloy wheels on here. We've still got the sliding windows, it's still a Mark II. See if the door is open. Yes it is, there we go. It looks all together actually, you know, given that mini values are always going up and up and up. This one's got little patches of rust in it and things like that, but you know, it's not bad. It says 1000cc on the back. It's got a 970 engine. It must be if it's 1,000. It's a genuine one. Yeah, not quite my sort of thing, but I'm sure Mr. Bill from Fuel Power will enjoy that. Oh, viewers, very, very nice. 2004 Jaguar XK8 convertible. Now this will have a 4.2 engine in it, and a cream interior. I don't think this is beige. I think this is cream. The steering wheel's beige though. It has some wood. That is rather nice. 88,000 miles. Private plates not included in the sale, but most agreeable. We talked about a Series 1 E-Type earlier on, viewers, and well, here is one. 1965 E-Type Series 1. This will be the 3.8 litre, just before we went to the 4.2. Again, in this red colour. It's classic, isn't it, for these? Again, I'd say that's more sort of cream interior than a beige one. Yeah, and the dashboard is quite different from that latest Series 3, isn't it? Estimate's also a bit different. It's between £70,000 and £85,000. Oh, they just had a new MOT as well. Now this is a bit unusual, isn't it? 2005 Ford Mustang. Guide price between £14,000 and £16,000. It's the clone apparently of a Shelby Super Snake. So it's not a real one, it's a replica of one. With the Roush air intake and tune-up parts. Colour is interesting, isn't it? So this was an automatic originally. It actually had a manual conversion done in it. I mean, I don't really know much about these, to be honest with you. Some of you might. It's not, again, really my kind of thing, but it might be yours. So, 1967 Volkswagen microbus, imported from South Africa some years ago, in 2008, known as Juffy. Now, Juffy does need some paint work. You can see we've got a bit of rust down here and some blisters, things like that, but when these are all up together, they're worth quite a lot of money. It's already got rock and roll bed and a gas hob in it, actually. Just to see how much this kind of makes. It's a very, very late splitty, this. So we saw the Jaguar 420 earlier. This is its sort of older brother. This is an S-Type with a 3.4 engine. It's manual with an overdrive, estimated between £13,000 and £16,000. It's a little bit dusty, it could just do with a clean, but it's actually in very nice condition. Look inside here, it's got the overdrive gearbox in it. Just think that the heater controls are on the floor down there. Yeah, it just needs a bit of a clean and then it'll be ready to enjoy and take to shows. Something else that is just ready to take to shows is this 1996 Porsche 911. This is the 993 version. Targa Tiptronic S. The guide price on this is between £50,000 and £60,000. I do like this fuse. I think the 993 generation 911 might actually be my favourite one. See if this is open today. No, I'm afraid not. Apart from needing a rear wiper, I don't know what else really needs to be done on this. I also don't know why it's not sold so far. It's been here a couple of times, hasn't it, so far? I love these wheels as well. Don't know if the Targa is my particular thing, but I have this funny thing about folding roofs, so perhaps that would suit me very well. I think we saw this, the last sale actually, this Spitfire. It's a 78. I think this is maybe the mimosa yellow, I don't know, could be wrong about that. So this car does need restoration finishing on it. The estimate on the information sheet on the screen there says 4,000 to 8,000, it's actually 2,000 to 4,000 now. Those are original wheels, I think, for it. It's similar to the Dolomite 300 SE wheels. New clutch, new tyres, new radiator, fuel tank, fuel pump, radio. It just needs somebody to finish this off. It needs paint work and it needs sort of grinding back to metal and things like that. I don't really know how much Spitfires are worth. This is a very late one, being a 1500. But yes, I'm sure somebody will appreciate that. If it only makes like £2,000, then that's a bargain for someone. All viewers, we've almost finished, but we found something rather tasty. 2005 Jaguar XKR. Again, this will be the 4.2 litre version with some enormous 20-inch split rim alloy wheels. Again, not quite a beige leather interior, more like a cream one. I'm surprised the XKR actually came with wood. I'd forgotten that they did. They've got sort of a telephone system built into here. That's probably not Bluetooth though, is it? Estimate between £6,000 and £7,000. I mean, I don't really need the extra power personally of the XKR, of the XK8. That's probably more my kind of thing, but some of you will, I think, adore something like this. So more Porsche 911 action here. This is a 1988 911 Carrera Cabrio Sport. I think you might have seen this before actually. It is in very, very nice condition, and that's reflected by the guide price of between £40,000 and £50,000. I'm more of a sort of 993 person myself, but some of you like the sort of character with these overriders and all this sort of stuff. And the funny offset driving position and the rev counter in the middle and all these sort of classic 911 features. Yeah, that's it's a nice car, isn't it? Anyway, I think we've covered everything in here. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Thank you to all the staff at Barron's Auctions here who will always let me come down and film their collection. There are other cars listed on the website which actually aren't here yet. The auction takes place 27th of May. I'll put a link to the website in the description below. Thank you once again.